Hello friends, and welcome aboard this Starship Nightwish. My name is Commander Exorcist. Today, we're going to be talking about geologic activity in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. I'm going to show you some quick ways that you can locate active geology on the new planets in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. So stick with me, and we're going to get started right after the intro. Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at active geology in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Now, there have been quite a few changes, obviously, in the way that geology is not only discovered but is rendered on new planets in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. I plan to do a video in the future about how that has evolved, but suffice to say at this point, geology and biology in Elite Dangerous Odyssey is generated in the same way that the surface features are. So it's procedurally generated, and there's a couple of things to remember. A big one is that, and this is kind of frustrating, but these POIs, they're not persistent. Well, at least not all of them are. So what you find in this session on a planet's surface most likely will not be there the next time that you log into the game. I've had several instances where I've taken pictures of geysers in amazing locations, logged out, logged back in, only to find that the geysers are gone. The location is still there, but the active geology is gone. Sometimes the actual geyser spot will still be there, or the fumaroles, or the gas vents, lava vents. They'll be there, but they're not active. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And so on your screen, we're actually in the Drogea system in this sector, about halfway between the bubble and the galactic core. And something I want to show you is when you're exploring, you want to look for, and it's kind of backwards. In Horizons, especially old Horizons, it was better to look for small locations. So you have this particular moon here, which is 411 kilometers in diameter with its radius. And take a look at it. This one's actually pretty neat. We're actually going to try this one, but the general rule is, for me, what I found with active geology, you'll find geology all over these planets as long as it's identified inside the indicator here. So you see where it says iron magma, and if you go to planetary information, you'll see geology as a component that's listed. And as long as it has that indicator, you're going to find fumaroles and gas vents and geyser vents and all this other stuff around the planet. The difficulty is finding these locations in an active status. And so what I have found, at least in quite a few systems, and this seems to be pretty consistent, is you want to look for planets that are at or above 800 to 900 kilometers in radius. So this particular planet, we might try this one later. This might be my backup if the smaller one doesn't work. But in general, these larger planets tend to be more geologically active. Don't know why, but that tends to be the case. So if I was really, really trying to find something and I just really had to find something active, this would be the particular moon that I would go to first. Silica vapor geysers with over 1,000 kilometers in radius. But today, I'm going to try to break that rule, and we're going to explore this particular moon because this moon is really, really freaking cool. And we're going to take a look, see what we can find. It's only 400 kilometers. Silica vapor geysers is what it says. And we are going to try. So, for exploring, oh, there it is. That is really neat. So, you want to use your detailed surface scanner. Scan the planet surface.
Surface scanned by 50%.
And so you'll see, obviously, the blue indicators. And that tells you where the geology is. This is not active geology. This is where the game is going to render vents and other geological formations. It's going to be in these blue shaded areas. Now you can filter through the detailed surface scanner, selecting vents or lava spouts. To be honest, I haven't found a planet where that actually makes a difference, or at least a significant difference. So I tend to just keep it at all. Or if I really want to find lava spouts, I could do that. But in this case, we're going to leave it at all. I'm going to turn off my Super Cruise Assist, and we are going to fly in and check out this world. And I want to try to get... This is... Wow, look at this moon. So I tend to switch back and forth between combat, and then we can see here there's actually a consistent pattern. So these darker regions, and like these black mountain ranges, tend to be where the rendering engine has decided that geology is on this world. So we're going to set in. Make sure I'm heading. Let's go to something interesting. Let's try out these mountains. Well, like I said, this particular moon is very small. Most likely we'll find geology all over it. If I find something active, that's a bonus. That's really the key kind of this video is for active geology, honestly, try to find something above 800 kilometers. That's been kind of what I've found successful. And again, going over the fact that they're not always persistent. Sometimes you'll find geology that's just not there when you come back. Now, as far as exploration goes, when you get to the planet's surface, there's a couple of things you want to do. You're going to need to cruise relatively low to the ground. I'm talking like less than 100 kilometers, or less than 100 meters. So you want to try to do that safely, obviously. And what I tend to do, because I am flying, obviously, in an Anaconda, and I don't like scraping my belly on the ground, so I use a ship-launched fighter. So if you're using a larger ship, I highly recommend, using the ship-launched fighter as your source of exploration on the surface. And if you're using a smaller ship, great, as long as you can get close to the surface. And when you're looking at the surface of these worlds, you want to avoid... See how this is kind of flat through here? It's kind of flat and smooth. You want to tend to avoid most places like this. Occasionally, you'll find a fumarole out there. I think there's a rogue one right there in front of us that might be... It could be a rock. Maybe it's just a rock formation that's... nope, that's a fumarole. So, or is it? No, it's a rock. So it's a rock. So you won't find a lot of activity in these flatter areas. So you want to focus on like these mountain ranges, these peaks, and these jagged areas. There's a little area right here. You can see where it says Primary A. That little dirt mound right there. There's a lot of these planets that have these long and expansive, smooth areas. But you want to focus, say, on the edge of this mountain range. Now, as we fly through here, we are looking for any sign of movement, anything that contrasts to the surface of the planet. So you're looking for steam, and if you can see right ahead of us, you see the white right there by the -1, and so we have found active geology here, flying at about 5 meters above the surface in our ship-launched fighter. And so here we have an active vent. Hello, Mr. Active Vent. Geology tends to be active in clusters. You will find complete regions of a planet that are devoid of any kind of activity, and then you'll run across entire fields of geysers and lava vents and fumaroles and just all kinds of activity. But you really want to try to focus on locations like this. See how all this terrain is extremely jagged and it's really kind of inconsistent. So you want to focus on that kind of terrain. Staying away from this general area right here where it's kind of smooth. We're looking for, say, like this dirt mound here. So we go over the dirt mound and we go down into these kind of jagged and distorted areas where the ground really isn't so smooth. And this is where you will tend to find your geology, just geology in general, whether it's active or not, is really just kind of a luck of the draw. So you said we found a single fumarole active, and you'll see that. You'll see a single fumarole, a gas vent, lava, but it tends to be an indicator that the planet is far more active, and in just a little bit of searching, you can usually find more places with more active geology. I'm going to fly around for a few minutes here and see if I can find anything else. And here, see, here's another one. So we actually have another one here. So here is another, and this is actually, so we've got multiples. We've got multiples here. So over here, and there's one in the back. You can see it back there. We've got sort of active lava, and we've got, where did it go? Here we go. So we just got kind of vents and things that are seeping out of the ground. And you can see there's lava up on the hill. So we found, this is actually a big active moon. There's a lot of activity here, and this is really neat. So this is kind of an enigma, finding this much activity on a smaller moon. But it just kind of goes to show that it is out there. But if you're going to try to find this stuff, it takes a little bit of exploration. You have to put a little bit of effort into it. Like I said, if you fly a smaller ship, get as close to the ground as you can. If you're flying a larger ship, use the ship launch fighter. As you can see, it's much easier to explore and find these locations. So we got quite a nice little lava vent there with some crystals. A lot more activity up on the hill. And we're gonna go find, so we can fly around for just a couple more minutes and show you what else is out here. Now, one of the questions you want to ask yourself is, why would you want to find these things? What's so big and important about gas spewing out of the ground? Well, geological sites, historically in Elite Dangerous, are great sources of materials. They have crystals and other things that are stuck to them, which can give you great crafting materials, good stuff for synthesis. So if you're looking for kind of low-grade materials in a high quantity, you can't go wrong with the geological site, because you will find some stuff. You will find plenty of crystals and plenty of things for you to pack up and take with you on your ship. So for exploration and photography, they are definitely worth the trip. For synthesis and finding materials, collecting materials, and boosting your stockpile for deep space exploration or deep space recon, whatever it is that you do, they definitely come in handy for that too. So highly recommended trying to find these sites. And I think that's about it. So just real quick, I want to recap. Highly recommend, if you're absolutely devoted to finding something like this and you've got to find something active, start with a larger planet. It's anything above 800 kilometers, and you have a better chance of finding not only geology but active geology. That's kind of the key. So do that. And when you use your detailed surface scanner, scan the planet, and like I said, you can filter it. I haven't found any planets that the filtering really makes much of a difference, but if it does, they are probably out there. And if they are, use those to your full advantage. There's some lava on that hill. So this is an extremely active little moon. So use that to filter and then land your ship, and then stay. As you can see, I'm staying well under 100 meters, exploring the surface of these worlds. And so find something that, if you can, that's maneuverable, something you feel comfortable in, and just fly around. Fly around, enjoy the scenery, and do some old school exploration. This is kind of how we used to do it before the detailed surface scanner was introduced in the Beyond Chapter 4 update for Elite Dangerous Horizons. So this is, for some of us who have been doing this a long time, this is actually a really neat kind of return. It's a little bit of a best of both worlds. See, you're going to find geology all over the place. Here's one right here that's inactive. So that's kind of the thing. The geology is procedurally generated, so that fumarole may not be there if I were to log out and log back into the game. So if you find something and you want to take a picture, you enjoy the view, get the shot. Take the shot before you log out of your computer and restart the game, because most likely it is not going to be there afterwards. Okay, so running a little long, but I thank you for your time and attention. I will place timestamps if you've watched all the way through. Thank you. There will be timestamps in the bottom in the description to link you to specific aspects of the video and searching for the geology in the game. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for the next one. Enjoy the journey, because it really is something that's really special. There's a lot of cool stuff out here to find. We just got to get out there and do it. So, 07 everybody, have a great night, and I'll see you out there.